Welcome to Daily Warrior Yoga. I'm Megan, and today I have a flow where we're just going to give ourselves permission to not do much. I think, myself included, we get caught up in our value and our worth placed on how much we're able to get done in a day, in a week, in a month. How much are we contributing? How much are we giving? But this time on the mat is for you to do as little as possible because you're enough just the way you are. You don't have to do or be anything else. Just be here on your mat. So we are going to start. Before we get started, you will need a bolster and a couple blocks. If you don't have a bolster, get a big fluffy pillow. If you don't have blocks, you can get books, or I'm looking around my room, speakers, I don't know. Whatever you've got that's block-like, grab it. Amazon box, we've all got those, right? Okay, so we're going to start laying on our backs on top of our bolster or our pillows. We're going to bring that small of the back towards the end of the bolster or pillow, and we're going to start with our feet, either soles of the feet touching, or you can start with the feet crossed at the ankles. Lay back on the bolster, chin is nice and tucked, and the arms can be out to the side in a T, down by your hips, or up overhead. Entirely up to you. Soften the eyes, begin to deepen the breath. Release any thoughts or to-do lists. This is the only thing on your list right now. And as you soften the corners of the eyes, release the jaw, and connect the brain to the body. Briefly scan the body through the mind's eye, taking note of any body parts you may need to honor today. Acknowledging that you are the guardian of your body and your practice, and are free to modify or opt out of any pose you see fit today. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And on your next inhale, bring the knees up to center, soles of the feet to the mat. Elbows come by the sides. Press firmly into the forearms and elbows. Lift the chest, keeping the chin tucked. We're going to turn our bolster so that it's parallel to the short edge of our mat. And we're going to bring our right hip, I should say, up to the edge of that bolster, like so. Stacking the knees, or at least bringing them next to each other, and grab yourself one block or Amazon box. Take a big inhale, sit up nice and tall, and on your exhale, drape that right side over the bolster. That right arm comes in between the bolster and the block. Head comes to rest on the block. Find a side that works well for your neck, right? And on your next inhale, sweep this left arm, left bicep up by the left ear. With this left leg, you can keep it bent like it is, or you can extend that left foot down toward the top of the mat. You can bend the left knee, reach back for that foot with the right hand or left hand. Really, it's up to you, whatever feels the best in your body today. Take one more big inhale here. And on your exhale, bring those knees back to the stacked position. Bring that left hand down to the mat in front of the face. And on your inhale, press yourself up to the right elbow. Take the right elbow to the bolster. And then rotate on those hips to the left hip. So now our left hip is in contact with the bolster. We're going to inhale, sit up nice and tall. And on our exhale, we're going to drape that left side over the bolster this time. Left arm coming down to the mat in between bolster and block. Head rests on the block. Maybe you got to Goldilocks your way around. Find what feels good, right? Big inhale here. Sweep that right arm up by the right ear. You can extend this right leg toward the top of the mat. You can keep the knees stacked, or you can even reach back for that right foot with the right hand. And that right knee reaches down toward the top of the mat. Up to you. One more inhale here. And on your exhale, bring that right hand down to the mat in front of the face or to the bolster. Inhale. Come up to that left elbow to bolster, and rotate back to the front of your mat. We're going to take this bolster or blocks, really on this, at this point it's entirely up to you. Actually, we're going to use blocks. Sorry. Grab your blocks, put them at the top of your mat. And how high you have them up is entirely up to you. We're going to work on some more chest opening from here. So we're going to do a child's pose with our hands on the blocks. So bring those big toes touch, knees wide, as wide as the shoulders or wider, hips to heels, and then hands on the blocks. So the more intense the stretch, you've got higher blocks, right? Because you've made more negative space for that chest to fall. Less intense, lower the height of those blocks closer to the mat, right? Find a height that works best for you. Big inhale here, and on your exhale, work on bringing that chest closer to the mat. One more big inhale, big exhale here. And on your next inhale, come up onto the knees. Lower those blocks to their lowest position. And now we're gonna walk those knees underneath the shoulders, take those elbows to the blocks, and sit the hips back but high. So it's gonna feel like your butt is up in the air, and it is. That's the point of this pose. This is puppy pose, but we're gonna put our elbows on the blocks. Maybe bring those hands back behind the head to touch, or bring them to the shoulders. Really, it's up to you. But now we're gonna take that chest and press it even closer to the mat while we lift the hips back behind us. One more full breath here. And on your inhale, very slowly, bring those shoulders over the elbows. Palms come down to the mat. Rise up in that tabletop pose. Come onto your seat at the center of your mat and grab one block for this one. And we're going to put this block underneath the bottom of our shoulder blades. So for my ladies, it's going to be right where your bra strap hits your rib cage. And for my gentlemen, it's going to be right underneath your shoulder blades, or where your ribs and your shoulders meet. Okay? So you can do what I'm doing and just kind of glue it to your back and lay it down on the mat. It's a little weird, but it works. And once you're there, kind of Goldilocks yourself on the block, right? Make sure it's at a place that's comfortable-ish for you. Hands are by your hips, and now you're going to extend those heels long in front. Actually, grab that second block and put it underneath your head, so that the neck isn't just hanging free, right? My chin is tucked, my neck is nice and straight. Hands are by the sides. We're lifting the chest, allowing those shoulders to drop down towards the mat. Flexing the feet like we're standing on them, and we're just breathing. Feeling how good it feels to do as little as possible. To just be responsible for our breath. Not tiny humans. Spouses, pets. Just our breath. Give yourself a couple more breaths here in supported fish pose. And on your next exhale, bend the knees. Bring the feet closer to the hips. Elbows come underneath the shoulders and very slowly push yourself up to a seated position, mindful of the neck and spine. Okay, we're gonna ditch one block, and I mean that this time as opposed to the last time. Lower all the way down onto the back, press into the feet, lift the hips, and take this block and wedge it underneath that lower back sacrum area. You know that spot on your lower back where you have those two dimples for whatever reason? I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't know what it is. That's where your block is. Maybe that's the reason. That's where your yoga block goes. I mean, evolutionarily, that's obviously the only reason. Okay, so we're here. We're in supported bridge. Our hands are by our sides. Shoulders are tucked together and they're dropped down towards our waist. Our chin is tucked, but it's also lifted up towards the ceiling. So we're not here, right? We still have a little bit of space between our chin and our chest, maybe the size of a small orange or apple. Just breathe here. Feel the back of those hips heavy on the block. Maybe sway the knees side to side, massaging out that lower back on the block. Find what you need here. On your next inhale, bring those knees above the hips. And you can chill here if you like, or you can take those ankles above the knees. Flexing the feet, pointing the toes, rolling out the ankles. Really, you can kind of choose your own adventure in this pose. You can bend your knees. Maybe you take a happy baby approach on the block, right? Big deep breaths. Giving yourself permission to let go. Couple more breaths here. And on your next exhale, bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. This next asana is very much dependent on your lower back health, which can be kind of spotty depending on who you are, right? So if you have the slightest reservation that your lower back is going to be able to take this, I want you to stay right here in the supported bridge pose and breathe. If you know you can handle it, not think, but know, extend those heels down to the front of your mat, wide, to the wide edges. Those glutes are really squeezing, the hips are lifting, and we're opening up the front of the hips, the hip flexors. On an inhale, you can take the arms up overhead. You can do that even if you're in supported bridge. Take big inhales through the front ribs, front body. Feel the breath go all the way down to the pubic bone. Two more breaths here. And on your next exhale, bring those hands down by the hips if they're not there already. Bend the knees on the inhale. Return the soles of the feet to the mat. Lift the hips. Remove your block. Lower the hips down to the mat, nice and slow. Hug the knees into the chest, roll you side to side. On your next exhale, bring the soles of the feet down to the mat and then heel toe the feet out to the wide edges. Shoulder blades come together down the back and that tailbone is in firm contact with the mat. Extend the arms out to the side in a T. Big inhale here at the center, and on your exhale, flex the feet. Bring both knees down to the right side and hold. Really reaching this left knee down towards the top of your mat. Squeezing the left glute, maybe pressing that hip forward. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. Flex the feet. Exhale, shift them down to the left side this time. And that right knee now reaches down towards the top of the mat. Inhale the knees back to center. Exhale, heel toe the feet back underneath the hips. Hug the knees into the chest, and now we're going to go for plow pose or knees to head or knees to ears. I don't know. It's a fun one, but it's also intense. So we're going to rock and roll up and down the spine, nice and slow. And then instead of coming up, which is what we normally do when we do this, we're gonna reach back and take those toes back behind the head, or if those hamstrings are tight, we can just bend those knees and bring the knees down towards the face. Hands can be supporting this lower back. Maximum spice would be the hands are flat on the mat, toes are reaching back behind. Driving the belly button in towards the spine. Taking big deep breaths through the sides and the back ribs. Big inhale. And on your exhale, roll through the spine nice and slow. Knees coming up over the chest. Extend the legs long down the mat. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale. Let's take happy baby. Grab onto the backs of the knees, calves, ankles, soles of the feet, wherever you can grab. And then from there, pull those knees down to either side of the torso while you flatten your tailbone to the back of the mat. Rock side to side. Happy baby is a choose your own adventure pose. So I accidentally said one time in a class, choose your baby, but it applies. So choose your baby. I think Bob Ross, is that his name? He called those happy little accidents. The happy yoga accident. Couple more breaths, even out your sides. Enjoy this feeling of enoughness in this moment. And on your next exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Lift the shoulders off the mat. Squeeze the tops of the thighs. Big inhale. Hold at the top. Exhale, release the knees. Extend the legs long down the mat. Feet splay out. Palms come to rest by your sides. Shoulder blades drop down towards the waist. Chin tucks. Release the muscles in the face. And surrender the breath and the weight of the body to the mat. As you enjoy these last few moments in Savasana. When you're ready, begin to deepen the breath and invite any small movements into the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale the heels to touch. Point the toes. Allow the lower back to curl off the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, hug the knees into the chest, rocking side to side. And when you're ready, make your way to a comfortable seated position where we'll take one final breath together. Reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and drop the chin to the chest. Shoulders go down towards the mat and extend the arms long by your sides. Inhale the palms up overhead to touch. Exhale, lower the palms down to the center of the chest and bow the head to the open heart. Thank you for sharing in this practice with me today. Be in a state of gratitude for all of the amazing things that our bodies were able to do for us and that we were able to do for our bodies. And remember, you are enough just the way you are. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.